Welcome back to Let's Play Stasis. So, one note, well, two notes actually. First note, the perceived frame rate issues I was having last time, both between this and the Dark Souls 2 play, I located the source. There were two sources actually. One, Malwarebytes is behaving a little strangely lately. It tried to do it again today, but I knew to be watching for it. I have no scheduled scans turned on because I like to manually scan my system. Typically because that offers me control of exactly when it doesn't. Well, it decided that that day, and today, for that matter, which are not the same days of the week, which is confusing to me, that it was going to just randomly run a scan in the background without asking. Well, that ate a chunk of the processor. I don't have it set to use minimum system resources when it's in the background, so it uses the same resources as it would in the front, and it was battling everything for the processor. Second problem. OBS somehow got accidentally set to encode in a different format than I was familiar with. Well, I mean, I am familiar with the FLV output, but for some reason that setting was chewing through the processor. I've had to jump through a lot of hoops to get the FLV format into something that my editing software would recognize, because for some reason, neither Camtasia, which I know is not technically well, I mean, it's not traditionally what one would use for editing, or Adobe Premiere would recognize the FLV format. And it kept throwing up at me, so I had to jump through some extra hoops there. But everything should be fine now. The second thing of note, I know, well, by the time you see this on VidMe, it will hopefully be resolved. I haven't gotten episodes 2, 3, or at this point 4 onto the VidMe channel, because when I upload it, it's only showing it as 480p, which, I mean, doesn't bother me supremely, but it makes the on-screen text really hard to read. And because of the quality drop, I am currently, or as of recording currently, not as of release currently, still trying to help tech support troubleshoot. Well, tech support is trying to help me troubleshoot. Technically, they're the ones better at it, I would presume. But they're troubleshooting and he's looking around. He has gotten bored. But yes, they're trying to figure out the cause for that. But yes. Yes, attention. I know. I have a hand. Sure.
The mortuary requires level 5 security access.
Yes, that's why I chopped off a guy's hand. This is perfectly reasonable behavior, you know.
Access granted. Welcome, Yuri Linov.
Yes, Yuri Linov.
The morgue.
That seems like the best place to be right now. I mean,
it's cold.
What is?
The mortuary.
I think it's supposed to be cold.
Subnote. Equipment in whom Lake Cortec has experienced a breakdown. Please send a tech team to security office 0001.
Who are you talking to? Also, strange thing. I get that they're talking through probably a communicator, but her voice is only coming through my right speaker for some reason. I don't know. The voice, it's weird when it comes through one ear like that. Well, let's see. Discarded reports. Discarded autopsy reports. Arms. You've got things. Crowbar through skull. Furnace. Combustion of bodies at high temperature is facilitated by this open furnace unit. A series of interlocking teeth are wrapped around the mechanical wheels. How does furnace and ice in same room? Indistinguishable shapes lie beyond this portal. Let's play with the furnace. Anything? You know, if you'd oh, whatever. Come on, give the user some information. Do I... A wet... Ooh. What if... A wet furnace. What? Was there a problem over there? I just didn't see... Oh, wet towels wound tightly into the cog mechanism. Okay. And this helps me how?
I can't see it working like that.
Well, I couldn't see the wet towel working like that either, and I still don't know what I did. What exactly did I accomplish by using my wet towel on there?
No, that's ridiculous.
Using a drill on ice? Not as ridiculous as you'd think, sir. But crowbar. I could use that to bust open the padlock, I think. I would assume. My problem here is that he kneels down and does something, but doesn't give the player any information about what the problem is. If there's a problem to be had with this mechanism, give the player some information. Do I need the toe tag? Ah!
Warning. Temperature increasing to dangerous level. Duty officer has been notified.
Please evacuate the area immediately, okay? The fact that the door flew open like that is worrying to me.
Oh god.
Good crowbar. Cadaver, the bones make a rough sketch of the human form. The unbearable stench rises from the rotting corpse. How is it rotting? It was frozen. Freezer burn. Freezer burned corpses that have now been charred. That has to be a delightful smell. To no one. Well, maybe buzzards. Wouldn't the crowbar still be hot?
I can hear you're taking strain. But keep your eyes on the end goal. Your family. They need you.
The cold... That is not a cold surface. It is smoking. On what planet is that a cold surface? Says the cold surface of the mortuary slab sits undisturbed. A cold, hard mortuary slab. Well, the documents have been incinerated. Unlike many other surfaces in this facility, the autopsy table is surprisingly clean. The jaws of the cremation furnace are sealed shut. And I would assume that the towel incinerated as well. I'm curious, if I had stayed there, would I have died? I hear noises! Not happy noises. Let's just go down.
So once I get this tram working, where do I go?
Your best bet is to find medical access terminal. The medical wing is on that tram line, so it should be a quick ride.
Thank you, Tia. And, I'm sorry about your friend.
Just be safe.
The slight metallic tone in her voice and it being only in one ear, along with the staticky effect, makes it a little difficult to understand her at times if the, of course, subtitles weren't there. Her voice just doesn't sound to be of the same quality as the other voice acting I've seen in this game. I'm not gonna hang around to find out what that was. Crying demon babies of the void. I don't know what kind of human experiments they've been doing here, and I ain't waiting around to find out. Crowbar. Crowbar. If you broke the crowbar... Okay, you didn't. I was going to be upset with you. Oh, that's an unpleasant noise. Yeah, I should not be poking any of the... I know enough about breaker systems to know which things to not touch. You don't want... There are certain things in breaker boxes you don't want to touch. If these were breakers, typically any of these large, exposed-ended wires leading into the breaker are things you don't want to touch. Charging system. Okay, what... No! I'm not used to the escape doing that. I can't get into my inventory, or I would, Is there something in here I should be seeing? My thought was to jam the crowbar into here. But that high-pitched whine is honestly hurting my ears a bit.
Maybe? No.
No drill?
I don't know what I was thinking there.
All the thing. What am I doing? I didn't tell you to close that. I mean, my main problem here is I don't know what I can interact with. Oh, did I see something for a second? I will return. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That was I didn't see that there was a second breaker box to the left. Tramline breaker. Yeah, just yank the fuse out of a live system. Thunder kish good. This is not safe electronical engineering you've got going here. Oh, I'm gonna have to use it from out here. I can't act. Excuse me. What the? You saw me open this! Get open. Fuse. And watch, I'm gonna interact with that and it's gonna be closed again and I'll have found a weird bug. That is a weird bug indeed, but I know how to get past it. Just had to test it. Make sure I'm not completely insane. Not today. What the? Stop getting a mind of your own. You want to live, man. Don't get any funny ideas. Hard. I'm not...
Okay, the tram's powered.
I see it. Give me a second. I'm sending your destination to the medical wing.
I gotta point out two things there. One, that sound effect was adorable. That sounded like something out of Dig Dug or like old arcade sound. Secondly, as that recharging arm extended, anybody familiar with the Boktai series, the end of it looked so much like a solar dish. Or I don't remember exactly what they were called, but the big sun dish things you would use for boss fights. Or those that played the Mega Man Battle Network games might recognize it from the Django cards. Excuse me if I mispronounced it. I don't speak proper word. Seating. Controls. Oh, that's right. Am I gonna have to switch the fuse? Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch the fuse back. He teleported! And now it's closed again! And now it's uncharged again. Is that the game trying to tell me I've made a critical error, died, and it's rewinding for me? Or, like, what am I supposed to make out of that?
Okay, the tram's powered.
I see it. Give me a second. I'm staying your destination to the medical wing.
If you say so, because it sure don't say it here. I'm gonna hit the save button. Because my assumption is I need to move the breaker back into there so I can switch the tram lines. Okay. Okay, everything seems to be not time warping me.
All done. Destination set. Just start the tram and be on your way.
How many times are you gonna... Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna run over here and pretend none of that happened. Because... Oh, that was a piece of flying dust. I thought there was a monster in the background. Whatever's going on there, I don't want to know. Boop. Let's just yank it on over.
How long?
How long what?
How long ago was the evacuation? My family would have left with everyone else, with the people that made it out.
That's, well, I'm not sure exactly.
That blood looked pretty dry.
It's been a while. We've been stuck in this death trap for about 3 months now.
3 months?
There were more of us originally. You and I were the last. We were repairing the shuttles. We were almost done. Yuri was out getting supplies when, well...
Was he a... I mean, were you and he?
Yuri? No. We would have killed each other long ago if we didn't need each other to survive. I miss him though. We got things done. I was married once. But that was a long time ago.
What happened?
How many of your cockroaches do I have to kill, Miss Hensley?
Milan, let's talk about this.
This was the last straw. I'm coming for you next. And as for your little head...
Warning. Brakes disabled. Low-pass filters disabled. Structural integrity compromised. And evacuation is advised.
He's going to be
A roller coaster. Hello. That cutscene quality is just amazing. And loud! Did we fall through the ceiling? How did we fall through this? How did we get vertically? These are questions that just shouldn't be asked.
John? John! Are you okay? I've lost the tram signal!
What the hell happened?
You just chilling up there?
I can barely make you out.
Are you hurt?
No. I think I'm okay. I'm fine. I need to get out of this tram. It's okay. I think I can make the jump.
John!
Looks to me like you're already in midair. What was that? I saw an icon for a second.
Just get the hell out of me. See where you are.
Just a second.
Oh yes, an exclamation point.
Holy shit, that was close.
John, are you okay?
I'm fine. You're breaking up. I can't hear you. Hello? Tia? Come in. Radio's not working.
Okay, get it together. First things first. Where the hell am I?
On a space station. Escape the fallen train. I kind of figured as much. The tram has reached its last stop on the line, the sound of its unplanned parking procedure still ringing in your head. Is there anything I can get out of it? Search and... I still have a crowbar! Fear me! Fear me. Debris. The tram's crash has left a menagerie of debris in its wake. Concrete, strips of metal, power lines, and a further mangled mess. Ooh, a roll of emergency nylon tape rests near the door. I want.
I could use this.
Yay! It's like caution tape. And it fell apart. An unremarkable poster has been tacked to the wall.
2151. We left in 2148. 3 years ago. These bastards had us here for 3 years.
Okay, a faded image of a woman smiles back at you from a water-damaged wall calendar. I'm guessing that's what he was referring to. Let's check the toolbox. Sizable, comprehensive toolbox. An abandoned key.
Where the hell am I going to find the key in this mess?
Because crowbar.
This ain't working.
At least it's worth a try. Though a number of metal containers have been placed here, they currently hold nothing of use. The glare of a portable standing light throws the room into stark contrast, and the PDA I've been avoiding. Albert Olsen, engineer. August 19th, Kane certainly spared no expense on the engineering decks. More often than not, the air conditioning breaks faster than maintenance can come back to fix it. The walk to the restrooms can exceed 10 minutes on a good day. It's of no consequence. With the lush retirement package Kane has prepared for me, I'd happily work in a cardboard box lined with thumbtacks for the rest of my career. I'm scheduled to receive my new heart and lungs within the next few months, at which point I may finally retire to join my wife, Rosalind, in Chicago. Until then, cigarettes and foods of the highest saturated fat content will continue to carry me through the day. This evening I was surveying the equipment on the decks when I noticed something rather unusual. A very fine layer of some sort of fungal substance is beginning to settle on the machinery. It's even... was that a cow? Excuse me! Go back to Diablo, demon cows. It's even found its way into the dials and monitors. They look filthy on the inside. Given the conditions around here, though, the growth of mold on any surface should come as no surprise. But it seems to be interfering directly with the performance of Groom Lake. The Groom Lake, so it's of some urgency that it's taken care of. I've reported it to maintenance. Hopefully they'll be quick in cleaning it up. Kane Corporation must be pleased with my performance so far. I woke up to a promotion. I'm in charge of the construction of new cloning vats, effective immediately. I have little time to elaborate. This job is important and urgent, I believe. I never anticipated the project would be on such a huge scale. Clones will be created in mass quantities, utilizing several megavats filled with special equipment and enrichment fluid to accelerate the growth process. I must enhance the rate at which we'll be creating clone batches. They've invented a method of manufacturing human beings faster than humans can biologically. Project Seed insists that the cloning vats are put to use immediately, despite the fact they're far from complete. The vats can certainly sustain the cloning process, but some safety precautions are lacking, like the holding chambers for research clones have no power routed to them, so the electronic locks are useless. The walkways above the vats are still only temporary. O'Sullivan fell over the guardrail and into the vat yesterday. Had it not been filled with sanitizing solution, we would have lost him. And now he's sanitized. Oops, back. Darn it. Next. The clones appeared to operate entirely on instinct. One of the complete human clones in Vat Theta bit a good chunk out of Miss Kane's ear during feeding time. Bleh. 3 of the completed research clones tore through their holding chambers' analog locks last night over in the labs. They found Peters bent over backwards with his head between his knees. He's not going to be walking again anytime soon. Maintenance will be fixing the electronic locks this evening. O'Sullivan has asked to be assigned to a different project. O'Sullivan's request was denied. Kayane, however, has been transferred to Project C. I've been stealthily increasing the portions of food to Alon's batch in VAT 449. Although they're just hearts and lungs, I can't help but feel an attachment. Additionally, we've noticed a mass of organic matter that has sprouted its tail and swims around aimlessly. O'Sullivan wants to name it after his mother-in-law. Who in their right names a defective clone? Ah, I see. They're cloning mindless bodies for the mass production of transplant organs. Kind of reminds me of an episode of Eureka where they were cloning masses of flesh so that they could have vegetarian-friendly meat products, and then there was a whole... Obviously, it's a TV show, so everything had to go wrong and be fixed, and it was a very interesting show. My air quotes there were not to draw offense to anybody who is vegetarian or vegan or the like. I believe in the show they actually air quoted that too. It's a long time ago, I can't remember specifically. There we go. Samantha, the impossible human fish monstrosity, crushed Elon with her thrashing as she was being removed from her vat. Most of the other clones in the batch have similar deformities. None of them actually grew into heart and lung tissue as they were meant to do. In fact, the results thus far are truly horrifying. Everyone has been acting strangely lately. O'Sullivan didn't show up this week, leaving me to tend to the vats by myself. I don't understand why that's being permitted, but management would have most certainly dragged him down here by the cheeks if there was no legitimate justification. Speaking of cheeks, one of the complete human clones took a chunk out of mine when I was escorting it to the research labs. Then why do you keep escorting them without muzzles or some form of protection? The groom lake has been completely locked down. A massive tremor shook and collapsed the walkways over the cloning vats. I'm trapped. I can't access the bulkhead. If this lockdown is anything like I heard the last one was, it should be over soon enough. Hopefully sooner rather than later. 2 packs of cigarettes will only last for so long. I can hear screams of terror through the ceiling. They echo. Each reverberation is a reminder that I'm pretty fortunate to be down here and not up there, although my supplies are running out. I sincerely hope that I don't have to swim for it. If the clones don't get me, cardiac arrest from the aerobic exercise will. I'm going to attempt to swim across Vat Theta. I'll reach the other side and try to get myself to the next level of the ship. Clones have been violently floundering in the growth liquid. Given what they did to Peters, I might not see the other side of the vat. The remainder of this entry is to be delivered to my wife. There's a weird line overlap going on there. Rosalind, I can only hope that I have the opportunity to deliver this to you myself. If not, I must attempt to express with words what I have longed to convey physically. Should I die before I get off this vessel, every moment of my life, every cumulative experience that has influenced my being, I'm trying to read too fast, will scream your name, begging the reality of an inevitable death to spare me, if only to touch you once more. I apologize for and regret every second I have spent away from you. Until that moment we first met, my heart was a void, lacking the fierce fires of passion that you have bestowed within. No matter the outcome of my escape, I will be long dead before they are extinguished. For an eternity after I have perished, you will live on. Your name will ring out through the galaxy, a testament to all existence that there can never exist a love greater than what I have for you. Your love is my life. As such, I am immortal. Tell that to the clones that probably ate you. Well, I believe this is a good pausing point, so I'm gonna click this, click save. I'm gonna pause here, and I will see you next time.